Okay, so this Hangout is live.
Are we live?
So, yeah, give it a few seconds. It usually takes a minute to catch up. And
Maybe.
we'll start this like Kyle. So, I'm Nick, and welcome to Final Save Cast.
Hello.
Yep,
Hello.
and there's my audio. So, yeah, today with me we have Joe as always, and the other person with us today is Nick, as you guys might know him as Coconut Monkey. He does some videos with Jay over at Jay's 2 Cents.
Oh, hi guys. Yeah.
Hello.
He's so calm and collected.
Oh, collected is an understatement.
So
Calm.
as always, slightly calm. So as always, guys, we will start with what we've been playing, and why don't we, since we have Nick as our guest, why don't you go ahead and start off with what you've been playing lately, Nick?
Lately, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and I'm a bit obsessed with it actually. I haven't played anything else since it came out.
And what is it that you like about it? Is it just like the weird, crazy Kojima-ness, or?
It's not. It's a little bit of that, but honestly, I did it just to finish off the story. I like the whole series, so I feel like I need to finish this off and get my story worth in, like, because it fills in that one gap. So I'm just playing it really slow, trying to unlock all the secrets. Yeah.
So did you get the cardboard box yet? Just curious.
Yes, I did.
Does it really airdrop?
The one of it does. It like one the supply crates airdrop. Those look like cardboard boxes, but the other one it kind of just teleports on top of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty epic. I can't wait to play that game just for the stupid cardboard box.
Dude, you could do so many things with it. It's enjoyable.
And it looks like it runs pretty well, too.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or is that just pretty much all you've been doing?
That's literally it.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. How about you, Joe?
Well, let's see here. I recently finished Dragon Age Inquisition, and that was a really amazing game. Really, really good. I put like 100 hours into it. And then since I finished that, I've been playing Far Cry 4. That's been pretty fun so far.
Is it basically like, to me, when I saw Far Cry 4, it looked like basically like an expansion pack for 3. Is that the way it kind of comes out?
It does feel a lot like Far Cry 3. A lot. But in mountains instead of beach. In island, tropical.
They had some mountains in Far Cry 3.
Yeah, but it was tropical mountains, not Himalaya mountains. But otherwise, it feels very much the same game.
Do you get a lot more opportunity to use like the wingsuit in this one?
Yeah, there's a little bit more flying and stuff because of the cliffs. You can do a little more in it.
All right. Don't tell me anything else. I still need to play it.
Oh, fuzzy animals as well.
That's good for the furries out there.
Yeah, I gotta talk about Hairworks because it makes everyone happy. Apparently, it's one of those things everyone loves.
Nah, just shut it off. Yeah, so I've been playing, let's see, of course, Insurgency. I could just say that every month.
Of course.
Insurgency.
Every time, yeah.
We played some Rocket League, as you guys know if you've seen my streams. I'm starting to get burnt out on it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So it's not anything, but it's like with all the friends in our skill group, there's certain ones that have just like kind of ascended into like ungodliness, like powers on Rocket League, and when you have people like that and then they're both on the same team, you just end up getting your ass whipped all the time. So I still like it, but I'd rather play like online against other teams with my friends instead with and against my friends. So for right now, I'm just like giving it a break or whatnot. I've been playing some other stuff. Tried Super Time Force last weekend. Did a video on that. Super Time Force is interesting. It's basically Contra with like time mechanics. So like if when you die, instead of you like starting level over as a new character, or whatever, you stop at that moment, and then you can like rewind back a little bit to any point in the level previously to where you've been, and you'll see your character shooting and killing all those people. You can put a new character in. His shadow character will go in and start shooting all the same points while you're going in with the new character and shooting other stuff. You can have, as far as I know right now, up to 4 characters on screen, and it's kind of crazy because, like, if you go to the point where they died, if you manage to like kill the person that killed them, then you save their life, and then they kind of like infuse into you. So like when you do your super move, you have both theirs and yours. So in theory, like you could get to the point where you could like save all 4 people's lives and just become like the super crazy beast of a person throughout the game. That hasn't happened to me yet because I'm not that good at shooters like that.
Mhm.
I tried another game called Heavy Bullets, which I got from the Humble store during the sale, and it's kind of like Spelunky in first-person shooter. So everything's randomly generated. You don't have very many items, and the interesting thing is you have like a 6-shooter gun, and everything's like in this very low poly state. I guess it looks like money for nothing video or something. And you've got like a certain amount of enemies. You kind of like get recognize them, and then you go up to the next level, and they'll like add like one more into the, like the loop with like a little trick, like it can deflect bullets or something like that. Your gun is basically a 6-shooter, and when you shoot it, you'll see the bullet on the ground. You have to pick it back up to reload your gun.
Cool.
And the bullets you can actually sell them for like money, so they're almost like kind of like a currency. So as you get like extra bullets and stuff, you can sell them for things and other things too as well. Like every enemy kind of just like explodes, like Borderlands. There's like coins all over the ground to pick up and stuff. So very interesting. I'm gonna do a video on that soon. And then because I'm a sick person, I bought
You are.
Sleeping Dogs again.
Mm-hmm.
Definitive edition because I was curious. I was gonna play through it anyways. And it was $7, so whatever. So it's interesting. There's some things about that game where some lighting effects from the PC version are now missing and have been like taken out. There's some like real-time shadow, specular light, like it's especially noticeable like on hair and stuff like that. They're just gone. But then like things that they added helped. So like the signs in Hong Kong are not necessarily static anymore. Some of them are like neon signs that have like animation to them. Weird things like the characters' faces are not as sharp as the HD pack on the original. They're kind of like a lower resolution, but then their clothing's higher resolution.
That's weird.
The chains, like the gold chains, have a lot more detailed textures, and they have, instead of them just like being static on the character all the time, now they have physics. So the chains actually move and stuff. Like there's one part I noticed, like in the fight at the beginning, they added a bunch of potted plants and stuff that are breakable now.
Huh.
Like I slammed a guy into like a mailbox, like in an apartment building, you know, and like all this mail and stuff started flying out that didn't the original. Like the doors popped open and all this. So they did seem to do a lot of work. I think for the most part it's for the better, but it's just like weird things like here and there. Like you'll notice like there's a sign missing that was in the original. You'll notice like characters that you interact with in the world are completely different looking now. But for the most part, it seems like it's okay. It's just like I kind of wish they would have kept the lighting in there, but it seems like this is a straight port from like PS4, pretty much. So where the original was kind of like built up for PC, yeah. So that was kind of disappointing. So, anyways, for topics today, we got a whole slew of them because TGS and other things, and we haven't been on for about a month. So,
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, anyways, first thing I wanted to mention in the ongoing Konami versus Kojima battle. Konami, or Kojima, retweeted fan art of Metal Gear Solid 5, and Konami put a copyright strike on the picture. Yeah, Konami.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Konami's been on a roll recently.
From what I've heard.
Yeah.
I just think it's... Oh, go ahead.
It's just a bad situation because it's like at one time it's like I want to play Metal Gear Solid 5, but and you're technically supporting Konami, but at the same time you kind of feel dirty about it.
Right. Or you mean you're supporting Kojima, but you don't want to support Konami?
Exactly.
Kind of thing when you get it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about the whole situation. I think Metal Gear will probably be Konami's last real game, and
Probably.
then we won't hear from him again, anyways. Kojima, we will. Hopefully, he'll
Oh,
somehow get
I'm
the
sure
rights
we
for
will.
Snatcher.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I don't think he will. There's no
No.
way Konami will let that go.
I want Snatcher.
More Snatcher would be great.
So, in a move for GameStop to stay in the past, GameStop refuses to sell consoles that are bundled with games that have digital copies in the bundle.
What?
Why?
It's
Like
still a
that-
game.
You
Right,
can't
well, I mean,
resell. You can't resell a digital copy.
let's go on. Let me make sure I'm getting this straight. So basically, if they sell a console and it comes bundled with a digital copy that's basically just like a code or whatever that comes with the game or with the console, they won't sell that bundle.
Nope. They refuse to.
Why? They're still making money off the damn console.
That bothers me a lot because they even sell codes like for PC
Yeah,
games
they do
there
that
at the
as
same
well.
time.
I guess because you have to buy the off their store though, the PC games, don't you?
Well, you can, but they have like those game cards and stuff. Like you get Steam cards. They
Oh,
also
yeah,
have like cards for the game and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
But
remember on PlayStation 3 they had cards for PlayStation
Yeah.
Network games.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
I think they do that just because they feel like they have to in that situation. Where this, they probably feel like they don't have to. If there is a physical version of that game, they want to sell that, and not the digital. That's probably what their reasoning is.
Well,
Still
the
stupid.
BS they were trying to give is they want gamers to go home and be able to play the game right away. Now, that's not the real reason. You and I both know that.
Yeah.
Um,
No, because with good internet, you
Yeah.
pretty much can play it right away.
well, to be fair, not on PlayStation Network or Xbox.
Yeah,
Live.
good point.
PlayStation Network, you have to wait a day, and I think Xbox Live, you might get it in a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Right?
yeah, Steam is just over there. Gabe Dole's just like turning on the valve pipes and going, yes, full speed. Oh, your hard drive can't write fast enough. Too bad.
Yeah.
Which
I've
is
had
another
that happen a
point,
few
too. I
times.
mean, you couldn't do that on these consoles because they'd like
Oh no.
it'd go so fast, and they'd be like, "Sorry, I have a 5400 RPM hard drive. Give me a second."
Yo, hold up! I can't eat that fast.
Yeah. So, let's see. A lot of stuff happened at a Tokyo Game Show. A lot of Nintendo stuff, yeah. So, Resident Evil Umbrella Corps was announced. Now, a lot of people got excited about this. I don't
Really?
know why.
Who got excited for that?
But it's basically a multiplayer shooter.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Call of Duty, just Resident Evil.
Yeah, which
It was a third person though, right?
No, it's first.
no, it's first person.
Oh shoot! I thought they were gonna. I'm excited about it just because I feel like they're trying to redeem themselves from Operation Raccoon City, which was
Mhm.
kind of a throwaway game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it until you
This
brought
is
it up.
supposed to be a direct sequel, I guess, to that.
Okay,
So,
I
I don't
think so.
know.
I might play it.
You might play it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's-
it doesn't look terrible. It's just, I feel like it was kind of it's a stupid move, especially considering it's 20-year anniversary of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Why this game of all games?
Yeah. I mean, part of the frustration for me to think I liked about Resident Evil is it started off you're being chased by dogs, okay, and then there was that whole psychological thing where you were like running into like the occasional zombie every once in a while, but you didn't know when something was going to pop out, and you were really kind of like an underpowered character in this world, right? And it was just perfect survival horror, and then it might be a good multiplayer shooter, but when I hear Resident Evil, it's not really what I want from it, and not what I feel like I've gotten out of Resident Evil in a long time. Resident Evil, I think, is probably to a certain point a victim of the Call of Duty hype
Yeah.
train. I don't know if that makes any sense, but what I played, like, I mean, there's been gems here and there, and I'm happy with them. Like 4 was great. As many problems I had with 5. 5 was probably a good co-op game.
Yeah, it was okay for co-op.
6 with the cum giraffe was terrible.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see why like Nick is probably into it. I'm a little bit more of a Resident Evil. I don't know what you would call it. Survival horror fan. Yeah,
Purist.
purist.
I
Sure.
I try to stray away from the scary games, but
Do you?
yeah, I do.
Alien Isolation's not for you.
Oh God, no, no. I watch Twitch. I watch the Twitch streams, but like in the smallest screen possible to avoid the jump scares.
Fair
So
enough.
this game's perfect for you then.
Yeah. Be good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see it from that point too. It does reach a broader audience. It's just like, yeah, like you said, for 20th anniversary, I'm kind of like, where's the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Like an HD remake of the first one, or did they already do that?
I think the HD remake of the second one will be coming out.
There is a second one coming out. They did do the first one. It's actually the GameCube version that's been upscaled to 1080 for consoles and PC.
Oh yeah, they just tweaked it and stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think like the other thing they did is like all the motion like before it was in video is actually in real time now.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll play that and I'll be happy with that. Let's see. Then there was a lot of PlayStation stuff. PlayStation VR is now the name of Project Morpheus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which
PSVR.
I felt like that's a cop-out name. I would have been better with a Morpheus if they would have kept that.
I love the demo video for it though. It reminded me of
Oh.
like some ads from like the 80s for the like Nintendo and Super Nintendo. It's like people are like they have like this thing like it looks like you can see, and people are all like, you know, there's like one guy going at it. I'm like, fantastic. Give me more. I want to see more. It's like we were talking about the Nintendo. It's like you got that family on the back of the box. It's playing on one TV. They're all standing around each other, yet they have no furniture, or they're just like in a blue area. They don't even like have
like
a
a room
house or
dedicated for it.
It's like there's no chairs in this room. Or
No,
anything.
they're just all sitting around the floor.
They're just all sitting around. Just I don't know. Anyways. All right. Gravity Rush 2, which I played the original Gravity Rush. That was already announced, wasn't it? Like everybody's acting like that was just announced today.
Not for PS4, it wasn't.
Okay, well now it's announced that it's for PS4 and there's not a beta version coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then the original version's coming to PS4.
Yep.
That's one of the few games I can actually kind of get behind and say if you are looking to get a PlayStation, it's a good one to start with. It's unique.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add that to my list of PS4 games I want to get.
So I don't know if you've ever seen Gravity Rush, Nick. It's an open world game that's got kind of like a manga art style to it. And you play this gal called Kat, and all your powers are centered around you can flip direct gravity in any 4 directions. So there's like parts where you'll be like walking on the walls of like a building or something like that or whatever. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I don't know.
Is it like
We'll
a
see how-
puzzle platformer or?
In parts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, kind of. And then part of it's just like the theme is she's kind of like a superhero. So
Okay.
like in the first one, there was like these beings or like weird creatures that look like ink blots. I don't know how to describe it. And she could do like a gravity kick towards them and stuff like that and whatnot. It was a pretty good game though. I was kind of surprised how good it ran on the Vita. And then let's see, we saw Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
I call it Assassin's Creed. DLC for Syndicate, which I'm actually excited for Syndicate. I think the setting of it looks cool. It's
interesting. So.
Yeah, going to be centered around, this DLC is going to be Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and the trailer was really cool. It was really dark and bloody and kind of mysterious. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah. So is this like previously, like is this just like the last Assassin's Creed team like working on the DLC? Because it seems like they flip-flop back and forth. Does anybody know for sure?
No, I am not 100% sure at all.
Because the guys that did Freedom Cry for Black Flag are the guys currently doing Syndicate.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, it seems like they kind of flip back and forth. I was excited. I'd hate to say I kind of saw it coming. I was like, it's London. There has to be Jack the Ripper in there somewhere.
It has to be.
But
It's around that time period, yeah.
Yeah, and it is true steampunk.
Yeah,
That was an argument we had last week.
it was.
Um,
Go
and
watch
then
video game battles.
yeah, video game battles. What was that? Episode 8?
Yes, that was 8.
Yeah, 8, and then 7 before that because 7 was fantastic too. Um, and then let's see. Let's round off with the PlayStation stuff. PS4, multiple colors. Of course, Japan. They gotta have multiple fashionable colors.
Yeah.
And a $50 price drop. So typically with most price drops, 3 to 6 months it'll be here too.
Oh.
So you can pretty much confirm that PS4 is going to be $350.
Yeah, it should be 350.
All right, Joe. I'm going to need your help with announcing this guy's name.
Oh, Tatsumi Kimishima?
Kimishima, sure. Announced as president of Nintendo.
Yes. Okay, I'm not okay with this, but I'm okay with this, and and that's because basically what they said was he's temporary for a new guy eventually who I guess will be he's kind of like in training with him. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's 100% true, but if that is, I'm slightly okay with it. But if it's not, I'm definitely not because he's more of just a businessman. He's not really like a game developer or anything. So, and I think that is more where they're hurting the most, Nintendo, to be honest.
He is also, my problem with him is he's been in the company for 20 years.
Yes, he's been there for a long time.
Okay, so here's the weird thing with Nintendo. Nintendo's very successful financially because they sell really cheap electronics for exorbitant prices.
Mm-hmm.
I think at one point, what the 3DS at $250 was like marked up almost $120 over what it actually cost to make or something like that.
Yeah, that's why they were able to cut it so much, like
Yeah,
after 3 months of it being out.
yeah. So they just make ass tons of money, and then their licensing fees are notoriously more expensive than the other two console makers. Have been forever, ever since the original NES.
Right.
I didn't want to see somebody that's been there for 20 years. I wanted to see somebody new. Somebody I had in mind that I thought would have been great, and I know a lot of people were going to say he's attached to Sony. Actually, he's not attached to Sony. He's always been a contracted worker for Sony. I would have loved to see Mark Cerny.
That would be great, but it's one of those where like that would be awesome, but it will never happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the guy's perfect.
Like,
he already knows Japanese. He knows the culture.
I think they would give it to Reggie before they would give it to Cerny.
Really, the Pizza Hut guy?
Yes, they would. There's no doubt in my mind.
I still don't understand how you go from CEO of Pizza Hut to Nintendo.
Reggie's the guy who usually does the press releases at E3, right?
Yeah, he's the president of Nintendo of America.
He's the guy that keeps on saying his body's ready for stuff.
And it is.
Yeah. Although Wii Fit did reveal that he's actually fat underneath that suit. So, yeah, I don't know. I would like to seen somebody new. Mark Cerny would have been my dream pick, honestly. So, and perfect for some input on the next console because he did.
Yeah.
Despite what you think about consoles, he did a great job with the PlayStation and designing that thing and whatnot.
Yeah. PlayStation 4 is a pretty decent console. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of that, Nintendo NX. There's new speculation. Apparently, a patent got revealed. I guess last month that I just learned about it. It's looking like it has the patent showing it without an optical drive. So
I'm curious to see that patent because it's like, how do you patent not having something?
Is it going to run like off of chips like the PS Vita?
It does have a memory card slot on it, but it doesn't. Yeah.
So they're trying to go back to the cartridge days.
They could.
Maybe. I mean, this doesn't really bother me, to be honest, just because of the way we are now.
Yeah.
Discs really aren't all that important. It's just better if it goes the way that we're probably thinking, at least the way like PC is. It better have a good size hard drive, none of this 32 gigabyte shit.
I mean, let's be realistic here. You played games like Mario Kart and stuff. if they keep on going with that art style and whatnot, honestly, it's like Nintendo could
Oh,
be like,
they're not going to
"Do
be
we
huge
really
games.
need? Do we
but-
really need more than 8 gigs of memory? I mean, we could
No.
put this on a cart."
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, it's one of those things though where I definitely don't want them to go there. Where they need to change though is stop focusing so much on their own stuff and let it be more open to others. So
Yeah.
for them, keeping like a disc or like a card or whatever to like 8 gigs or whatever would be perfectly fine for them. But anybody else trying to make something for that system is going to be a pain in the ass.
They'll use the same processor as the GameCube, the
They'll make it a
Wii,
quad
and the
core
Wii U.
version.
4 cores. Imagine
Yeah.
what you can do with that.
hmm
I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping there's a shakeup with the new console, but
I'm hoping.
yeah, cartridges, everybody, they're coming back. Hopefully. And I mean, there's the possibility it's a fully just download unit.
Yeah.
Like they'll take wouldn't that be the shit if they take the goddamn retail chain out of it, and like the people that actually have the balls to do it's Nintendo.
hmm
It's like GameStop just like flip their shit and be like, we're not going to sell your console.
Thing is, it would piss me off because I know exactly what would happen. They'll come out with that and be like, download only, have to be online all the time or whatever, and everyone, because it's Nintendo, would be like, yay, about time.
You know, it's the console version of an Apple product.
They really are.
Yeah.
The same idea.
All right.
Almost like Origin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Origin's like, we now have voice chat. It's like, congrats, Steam had that 3 years ago.
Except the difference between that is people are like, exactly that reaction. Whoopity about fucking time. Where
Yeah.
with Nintendo, if they do something, they'll be like, yay, bravo, great job, guys.
For
Yeah.
innovating something that's been done 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their CPU on Wii U right now is actually from 1998.
Pretty much. Just a triple core version of
So,
it.
yeah. God, I just had a weird thought. Anyways.
Oh, share, please. You got to.
I'm just thinking that Origin should have renamed their voice chat Truck Driver CB Radio Simulator, and it would have fit in better.
Yeah.
Because it's terrible. Anyways,
1999.
it sounds god awful. Let's see what else happened. Oh, and then finish off with Nintendo. Nintendo going after speedrunners now. So if you speedrun Mario 64, guess what? They're gonna take your money and take your video down.
What?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's Nintendo for you.
So, but no, they're great.
They're the greatest company ever.
By the way, Nick, did you ever have a PlayStation, or were you always on PC?
originally started out with the PlayStation 1. Yeah.
It's 20 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
That's like almost as old as me. Almost. But I'm pretty sure I started playing around the time it came out.
So, what was your favorite PlayStation game?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
It's not really a good
Actually-
cop out. I'm just messing with you.
Bro,
I will
Right.
say, Crash still holds up. Actually, that's one of the few games I could say holds up on the PlayStation.
I mean, granted, the one I'm gonna say is a cop out as well was my favorite, probably Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that's kind of everyone's go-to if they played Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Well,
Mhm.
and I could tell you a bunch of reasons. Now, Crash Bandicoot is a great game, but I think because of the style and everything. I mean, art style. The art was better in 8, but I think I like the overall the story and everything. But mostly because it had the pre-rendered graphics like in the background or whatever, and it didn't need didn't really even need a stick or whatever or to move. So like movement and everything wasn't bad because it was all like top down mostly. So it controlled and it's easy to go, well and easy to go back to because of that. Where a lot of other 3D games are, really, really bad, really hard to control for that day, and I can't go back to them. Where that one I can still go back to and still kind of play.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah,
Nick,
I
how
can
do
see
you
what you
feel
mean.
about PlayStation 3D games now? Like, could you go back and play them, or are they just
Honestly, it would have to depend on the game and how what's the word for it? How nostalgic I'm feeling.
Okay, because I still have one. I tried playing it a few years ago. Um, my God, dude, they're really hard to look at now.
Mhm.
Yeah, like especially on like like those HD TVs now, or
Oh,
upscales.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I could see that getting in the way. But if you have
yeah.
like one of those classic CRT TVs just chilling around somewhere, then
Mhm.
you'll feel right at home.
I wonder
Um,
if
I,
mine's still sitting in my old house with my 32-inch
that
CRT.
back corner there actually is a CRT, and I tried it a couple years ago. And I was still like, what was I thinking?
Right? Well, we've come so far from graphics. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like my idea was like I want to keep all the old games just to have it, so when I'm older I could go back and like, hey, this is where it came from, and like
Hmm.
appreciate it later on in life. Like, I know my PS1's still around here somewhere, but I do fire up the PS2 to play DDR every now and then as well.
Ooh, secrets.
Yeah.
Are you a DDR freak? Do you have the metal pad?
No, I have a foam pad. I'm a broke freak.
Oh, okay. I can't talk. I actually have the power pad for that thing. So
Oh, snaps. No,
yeah,
I mean it was fun. I played a ton of it back in high school,
yeah, yeah.
and then my
No, I
friend,
mean
yeah.
it had its place in a time. There's something to be said about certain games that you cannot go back to, and despite how good the gameplay was in some of those games, it's just like for me personally, it's a little hard to look at
Oh,
and go back to. So compared to like some of the older consoles now, it just might be of the time like when I grew up or whatnot. But anyways, and by the way, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, best game ever on PlayStation.
Good
Game
pick.
is awesome. Yeah. All right. In the computer space, we got quite a few things going on. We have AMD R9 Nano came out, sort of,
Sort of.
because the
been
Furies don't
been a
really.
craze.
Well, the Furies, I guess, are so hard to make that they don't really come out. You're lucky enough if you get one.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people are railing on it. Some people like it. Um, my problem with it is it seems like it's got coil whine, which if I'm building a ITX system, they tend to be smaller. A lot of people have them like on their desk right next to right next to their head.
Mhm.
And typically they have a lot of perforation and holes in them for air. So that sound's going to travel out. You're going to hear it unless you're like wearing headphones or something like that all the time. So that kind of bugs me about, especially for the $650 price point. The other thing too is everybody's been getting them for review. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they're putting them in like larger ITX cases that you can put like a 10.5-inch card in.
Mhm.
It's I would like to see more people, and AMD Red Team Plus guys are guilty of this too. Put them in boxes that are like Elite 110s and
yeah.
tweak them down. Like put it in something that you couldn't have done before. So
I mean, I think was it a couple of them are doing like what was it like the do-it-yourself cases, like the tiny cases? Am
Mhm.
I correct on that or?
yeah, but it seems like the vast majority of ITX cases out there are, you know, I'm sad enough to see that most of them can still fit a big graphics card because I would like to have a really tiny system.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, like they're not much smaller than a micro ATX machine right now. So
Mhm.
maybe the Nano will help drive that to a smaller thing, but I just don't think that's how it's going to work.
Wait, well, I don't know. They're making? Well, are there like small enough coolers for the CPUs and stuff to go around for that
Yeah.
nowadays,
Oh, yeah.
or?
I mean, just
Yeah,
the default ones they come with are like that big.
yeah.
Uh,
Like we've had this debate before, me and Joe, about default coolers, and if you just get like a regular Intel chip,
You're
um,
probably fine.
you're fine. It cools it well enough. You can get like the Noctua NH9i, I think it is, and it's a small Noctua cooler that fits in that space or
uh,
whatnot.
Mhm.
If you're overclocking like the H110, you can actually fit up to 120 millimeter rad in there. It's just you can't fit the big, huge graphics card.
uh,
Mhm.
So you can still have like some systems that are water cooled and still that small in size or whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. GTX 950 came out on the other side of the spectrum. That's a $150 graphics card, roughly.
Mhm.
850
Yeah,
for
One
950.
150,
150. God,
but it's 950 is the number. Yeah.
950. Yeah,
Yeah. I was about to say like something's backwards.
yeah.
Mhm.
No. It's 150.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody will
Which,
try to pay 950 for it.
I mean, those cards are always good for beginning to get into PC gaming, or you're on a budget or really cheap budget. So
Yeah, I know they
they do
sell
their
like
job.
hotcakes.
They do. A lot of people build PCs that way.
Yeah.
Just get a new graphics card every year or two.
Mhm.
Um, the thing I like that they did this time around is it at least can do like two-way SLI. So if you don't have a lot of money, you can get
Right.
one and then SLI it
Yeah.
later down the road. Yeah. Because a lot of people are like, why don't you just get like one card? Well, people are, a lot of times are on a really tight budget, and you don't know
Mhm.
when they're going to get their next
Yeah,
150 for another
that
card.
is one of the biggest things. Talking with a lot of other PC builders or whatever, they're like, well, why don't you just do this? Like, dude, we live in reality. We don't always have the money to
Yeah.
always do the really big, expensive builds. So a lot of people they got to go with that. And for a lot of people, that's not the power isn't that big of a deal to them. They're just happy to play something in 1080 at 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll definitely do it, and it's cheap enough, and I think it sucks up like 80 watts of power.
Yeah, it's
So,
really,
you know,
really little.
it's like, I don't know, cool beans. We'll see what people do with it. They actually kind of compared it to the 760, which I was surprised.
Huh.
So,
Yeah, it's probably roughly in that range.
yeah. All right, and then lastly for the video card stuff, R9 380X, specifically the XFX version, has been spotted in wild. Not
What? Where?
surprised. Jeez. Kind of made me jump. I was like, what? I'm not surprised. I mean, I did that experiment with the Sapphire card I have in there now, and it shows that Tonga is not a fully enabled core.
Right.
So, yeah. And just like FYI, for anybody that has a 285, 380, specifically Asus, you might want to check and see if like the cores that are disabled are actually like not useful, because Asus does not make their locks. They make their locks rewritable. So you could, in theory, actually unlock like a 380 or 285 to a 380X.
Right.
So it might be worth investigation if you have one sitting around. I could not. Sapphire does not unlock that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. It should be a little bit better than the 280X. I think it's probably be like, honestly, the 285 is about the same power as the 280X. So this should be quite a bit more, but it's going to depend on the price point. Like, how much is it worth, for you to get that like little extra push or whatnot. It's the thing that's always been weird to me about the AMD cards, is they have like the regular one and then the slightly better one.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, but maybe I'll help them because they're only at 18% of the market right now. So
Yeah. I mean, so far from what I'm seeing of the new cards from AMD, they're pretty good graphics cards. I think in graphics cards they're a lot better competition-wise.
Yeah.
Than processor-wise.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's probably why they spun the company off into Radeon Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Segue.
Yep.
Now Segway's over.
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Segue.
All right, let's see. Did I miss anything else here? Nope, I think we went through it pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Oh, nope. I got two more here.
Yeah, you got two more.
Nick can actually talk about this, I think.
Oh.
PC Gamer.
Yes.
When they're not railing on things like, PC Master Race is like a terrible thing, and we should all feel bad and feel like Hitler. They have articles like this. PC Gamer does not think FOV is important anymore.
Mm,
So here, let me open up the article real quick.
I mean,
That
as we
yeah.
all know, PC Gamer definitely represents all of PC gaming. So, of course, they're right.
Most of the
Okay.
people that write for PC Gamer right now wrote for a console site,
Yeah.
gaming site.
Yeah, I kind of miss the old PC gamer
Yeah.
with Greg Viederman.
So the game that they've decided to lift up on a pedestal and say, this is why you should not care about FOV, is a game called Super Beast Terra Fright.
Mm.
Is basically like, if you look at it, it's basically an Aliens knockoff in like Unity,
Okay.
I think. That's what it looks like. Um, and then they go like, you want to feel like in this game like you're in a corridor. They want everything to be condensed down. You could say there's an argument for that, but then there's the physical aspect where people actually get fucking ill on low
Right.
FOVs and can't play that way. That's why it's important to have a slider. So
Yeah, I'm that way with some games too. Like if it's too low, it'll kind of bug me. Also, if it's too high, it'll bug me as well. Like I have a nice like 90 degrees to like maybe like 100 that I'm comfortable with normally. I mean, it depends on the game, but
Yeah. I mean, I think if it's specifically for this game, like if it relies on FOV, then they should probably warn people that if they're sensitive with that, they should probably avoid the game.
right.
mhm.
But I think on the other side, they could also make it so that like scale the FOV, like because it says like if you're closer to an alien, the FOV like I believe widens
Mhm.
or something like that. Like just scale it up to someone's comfortable settings, you know. Granted, it might make the game, it might take away that effect a little bit more, but it could be helpful in the long run if they want to get that game out to more people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about a game that's going to make the FOV constantly go like this too all the time. That would kind of drive me nuts personally.
Yeah, I mean constantly. I mean, I've played games where it does. I mean, there's a lot of games that change FOV depending on like the effect or something, but normally you're ready
Rocket
for it.
League.
Rocket League will do it, yes.
Yeah.
A lot any normally racing games or something will do it, like if you have speed boosts or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of narrows your field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
But it's a nice blend, and you kind of see it coming.
yeah. I know at
yeah.
least in Metal Gear, at least right now when I play, in some spots of the map, like if I'm inside a building, the camera does get too close for my liking. Like it forces me to go first person just to get me to
Yeah, it
Oh
down.
yeah,
is. It is. If
yeah,
it's
third
anything
person
like Ground
games.
Zeroes, it's right up on his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes up the whole monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Batman. Sometimes I forget which one. I want to say it was Origins. I had to back that shit up a little bit.
Hmm. I know, like the difference in what was it, Arkham City. There's like a huge difference for some reason on PS4 and Xbox 360 and the FOV. I don't know why that was, but
That's weird.
yeah, every once in a while it's just like weird things here and there, but I think you have to have an FOV setting, especially on PC. Like the funny thing is you can have like an FOV of 75 if I'm playing on a TV, and I'll be fine. If it's anything below 90, I have a hard time with it. I know I have a friend that if the FOV is below 110 on hers, she gets sick. And then the other problem is there's not a standardized FOV setting.
Right.
Sometimes the FOV is just horizontal. Sometimes it's both horizontal, vertical, like
Right.
mixed together.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It like depends on the game. Sometimes they're a little funky with it.
Yeah, like 110 on like Insurgency looks a hell lot better than 110 on some others. Like I'll just get like that weird thing like you get with multi-monitor, where like on the edges it starts stretching. It's not like a true FOV scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, FOV is important, I think, and
Yeah.
they need to come up with a standard of how to handle it in all games.
Well, not everyone's gonna have the same monitor too, so
Mm-hmm.
it isn't
Yeah.
like there's a standard of monitors. Otherwise, everyone will be running like huge widescreens or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Then you got
I mean,
21 by 9s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the standard normally is still the 16 by 9, but there are the ones that like I know Nick, you had a wide one. Really
Yeah,
wide one.
before it died, because
Yeah, and then some people have the triple monitor set up, and there's different things, but yeah.
Yeah,
Different strokes.
different strokes for different
Mhm.
horny
Well,
folks.
Well, I mean, that's the wonderful thing about PC, and I think that's what something PC gamer doesn't realize a lot is we want to customize our games, and
to
we want it
us.
to us. That's what it's about. That's why it's called PC. It's a personal computer. It's your personal thing. It's your system. You
Well
know.
said. Well said.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. PC's ultimately about choice.
Right.
Um, but I don't know. I put this in here because I've been getting annoyed with PC gaming lately, and I just wanted to point that out.
Mhm.
It's a good topic though. Can't
Yeah.
complain.
Yeah. All right, this one I thought was interesting too. So I want to make sure I get my facts right. There was a study published in Journal of Energy Efficiency. It was last week, yeah, saying that basically what it came down to is gaming PCs and the entire PC market only make up 2.5% of all PCs in the world, I guess,
Mhm.
is what they're trying to say.
Right.
But that 2.5% sucks up 20% of the entire world's power grid.
I don't see how that's possible.
I don't see that either. I find this as an exaggeration.
Mhm.
Unless we're building computers that could like launch nuclear missiles, I don't think we need that much
Right.
power.
Well, also, yeah. I mean, the game it's really still a decently small market. Also, a lot of us, I mean, power supplies and whatnot are getting a lot more efficient too. So, like, unless everyone's like running like cheap 1,000 watt power supplies and stuff, I don't see how
Yeah,
we're doing that.
there you go. I posted it in there for people. That's what I need to start doing.
Especially considering like all the stuff like things like uh you know farming, amusement parks. Like people don't realize this. Like amusement parks, like for a lot of the roller coaster whatever, sometimes they have to build their own freaking power plant just to run that shit all day. So
Yeah.
like that's when I don't see how just a game computer, especially when like you get the electric bill or whatever, and having it on and off, like you'll see a difference, but it's not like a gigantic difference of having it on and off.
So they're claiming it's 6 times more energy on a gaming PC than a typical PC, and 10 times more than a gaming console. So,
Something sounds off.
yeah, it does sound off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. You said 10 times more than console?
Yeah.
No, maybe like 3 times, 4 possibly.
Well, I can put
Once
it in
again,
this.
depends on the rig.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
but the people who are using the huge amount of electricity with those rigs, that's a minute percentage within gaming computers.
Yeah.
I think
True.
the problem with the equation here, and this is what I'm thinking about, and they're like saying like playing Counter Strike. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they're
Counter-Strike is a power bar.
generalizing way too much.
The problem I have with this study here is what it sounds like is they're saying like, okay, like my rig, I have a 285 in there. I've
Mhm.
actually tested the wattage. It's about 327 watts, I think, is what it maxed out at.
Mhm.
That's under load. When it's just
Right.
sitting around, it's maybe doing like 80 watts,
Right.
if even that.
Mhm.
The mass majority of gamers will play games like every once in a while I'll have a binge of like 6 hours and stuff. I think most people, whether it's on console, PC, or whatnot, only have a few hours at a time to dedicate to it.
Right.
So you're only running at 300 and some watts for a few hours. I think what they're not taking into fact is you're not drawing that maximum amount the entire time you're on the PC.
Mhm.
So my PC, when I'm just like talking to you guys doing a show like this or something like that, I'm not using up any more power than the typical PC out there, is what they
Right.
refer to. I think maybe their equation's flawed in that they're taking all that into effect and then saying, and they might also be looking at charts like graphics card charts, which like to insanely blow up how much actual power usage that graphics cards
Oh
use.
yeah, that's probably part of it. Where it's like
Yeah.
you need a minimum of this. What? No, you don't.
It's like an R9 380 from XFX right now recommends a 750 watt power supply.
Right.
Well, you don't need those 750, maybe for
No.
two of them.
Right.
but Yeah, this is just kind of crazy, and I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to like draw straws and try to go. It's your fault for climate change or something like that. I don't know.
Even though that doesn't make sense, but yeah.
We
Yeah,
don't even like burn holes in the ozone with our
I
computer.
know. No. Its
yeah,
exhaust is slightly hotter air.
I think
yeah,
that whole thing is completely void now. That whole article.
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, yeah. Well, that's all of our topics. We're
It
all out.
is.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, actually, no, it's not. You forgot one. The Xbox One Elite bundle with the controller and everything.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
yes.
There's an Xbox One coming out with a new
Ah!
controller.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, it has the 1 TB hybrid drive. Come on, guys.
Hybrid.
From
Oh boy.
my
Is it, like,
understanding,
solar-powered?
solar-powered Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's energy efficient enough to be able to do that. So.
Now, see, with that stuff, it goes the opposite way. Now it's gasoline powered. Slightly.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of both ways on it. The controller looks cool. It's not. It. I think if you're going to get an Xbox and you want that controller, it's the way to go. It's going to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
cheapest for you.
It is cheaper that way.
Because I think a controller's normally $160, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
That's really
Yeah, that's
No,
like
I think
retarded.
the deal is really good, especially for the disc space plus the controller. I mean, that price is wonderful for what you're getting compared to the regular price.
Yeah. So Nick, have you ever played on an Xbox One yet?
I have a couple friends who I go over to play Forza because
Okay.
I haven't mustered up the courage to buy one because
Yeah.
like as much as I love Forza, it's not worth to me paying that much just to play one game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And Halo's coming out. It looks amazing. I want to play it, but
Mhm.
once again, I'll probably just go to my friend's house to play it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if you were to get one, I might actually recommend putting up the cash because load times on Xbox One are terribly
Yeah,
long.
it's supposed to cut it like 20% or something.
With
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hybrid drive.
yeah. That's what they're
Oh.
saying. So,
Well, I'm a patient person, so.
oh, okay. So you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it depends on the person. For me, I couldn't be that patient. For Christ's sake, I went and spent a lot of money on an SSD just so I could load GTA faster.
Right.
No, it's cool. The thing that drove me nuts. What was that name of that game that came out a few years ago? That Insomniac made.
Oh.
Oh,
Um,
it was like
Uncharted?
I think it was no.
no, it was an open world game that was like you grind on rails and stuff and shoot
Yeah, it's
stuff.
like
And
something
Jet Set?
overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Oh,
That's it.
alright.
Yeah.
I remember playing that at my friend's house, and I just sat there and watched the load screen. And he's like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm like sitting there fidgeting in my chair, and I'm going,
Yeah.
and he's like, "No, are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And he's like, "You keep on sighing." I'm like, "It's this load screen is like it's like been doing this for like 3 minutes now." What's going on?"
Oh God, I can't remember the last time I dealt with a loading screen that long. It's been forever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
I mean, I remember watching someone play Warframe on their PS4 and like going from PC playing it, and then watching them. I'm like, I'd be halfway done with this mission by now. Why does your load time like take like 5 minutes?
I don't want to be like a PC dick about it, but I'm just like, what the hell happened to the consoles? Remember, like back with the Super Nintendo, you turn it on, it's like instantly,
Well, yeah.
like the game's on.
Yeah.
Like,
It's using basically flash memory.
well, I mean, it's the complete opposite. Because on a PC back then, it took forever to load into a game because you were using floppy disks and slow ass optical drives, and sometimes even cassette tapes if you go back far enough.
I
And
felt
now it's like flip flop the other way around. It's
right.
like,
I felt like last gen, at least at the beginning, like the load times weren't that bad, and they were getting better about like loading and stuff. But this gen, so far at least, it seems like there's been a lot of problem with loading. I don't know why. Maybe
yeah,
it's just because they're trying to put more and more stuff where I think the hardware maybe was able to handle it better last gen when it came to that kind of stuff. Or now it's I don't know.
I don't know. How do you feel about the new consoles there, Nick? I was just kind of curious on your take on it.
Uh, I feel like like personally or just overall.
Just like overall, like their performance and whatnot on them. Like, is there
I
anything that you like really notice or?
No, I feel like they kind of run the same load times as what you did, like as they did like back in around the PS2 generation, you
Uh
know.
huh.
And it's it started to bother me. It just bothers me a little bit that now you kind of required to install the game on the hard drive to
yeah,
play
just
it.
to cut down load time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to cut it down. But at the same time, it's like it's almost close to a PC at that point when you have to
Yeah.
install it to run it.
Hmm.
Because when I think console, I think you could drop in a CD and it'll load off the CD. You don't have to wait for anything to install, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know times are changing, and that's probably just like the old me going like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's I'm not
Yeah,
used to that.
you old timer, you.
Yeah. Uh,
I
these
don't know.
damn
It's just like
kids.
damn kids.
Damn teenagers with their loud consoles.
No, with their loud iPhones.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know what a console is. Um, I don't know. For me, like the nice thing about PC is we're all in it for different reasons.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Joe, but you're a graphics whore.
Oh, I know. That's what
Yeah.
I do.
It's okay. My friend's a graphics whore.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like
into it.
I play GTA like all in high settings and I'm perfectly happy on my little $200 card. The load times drive me nuts though. It's like I have like a
Yeah.
completely unbalanced machine where it's like SSD that's like almost the same price as the video card in the machine.
Uh,
Yeah. Like, yeah, load times and like stuff. I have an SSD, but like for games and stuff, GTA is a little ridiculous. I'll give you that. But like most
Yeah.
games, like load times are ridiculously fast. Enough for me, anyways. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, when I play something, I want everything cranked up all the way if I possibly can.
Hmm.
no, I feel you.
Yeah. So I don't know. But it's a nice thing. I got choice where I don't on the other stuff. But if they were just a little bit better, I'd be okay with having one. And I still feel the Wii U is probably the best PC centric console because it does.
Yeah.
To be honest, from what I know of it, it still does. You still do put a disc in it, it just works.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
As I tell anyone, I'm like, if you have a PC and you want a console, still Wii U is probably your best bet because most of the stuff that's on there is not on your PC. So
Splatoon.
The selling
yeah.
point for the
Mhm.
Wii U for me would be that the tablet, like it literally you could play off of it, which I think is fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
And I really loved how they innovated. Like I forgot what game it was, but it makes you a fifth player, whoever has a tablet, and you can have
Oh, there's
multiple
a few
people on
games.
screen. Yeah,
I forget.
like in
I
Nintendo
can't
Land,
remember.
they had like
Yeah,
the
Nintendo
Wii
Land
and
did. I know that. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome for like multiplayer and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just don't have enough friends to come over and do that with me.
Mario Kart, I think you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Uh,
have four people up on the screen, then you have one person on the.
Joe has a Wii U because I
Yes.
talked him into it.
Yeah, you
Um,
you gave me a push. I'll give you that.
yeah. We were literally
I was
doing
already
what.
thinking about it, and you're
Don't
like,
even
hey.
start because. Okay, Nick. Okay. We were doing a podcast like this, and we were talking about the upcoming games, like I think a year ago that were coming to
It
Wii
was.
U,
It was last
and it
E3.
was it was like what was it like Donkey Kong or something else, like, and Mario Kart and other stuff, and he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, the lineup's looking really good. I'm like, yeah, you should get one. He like ordered one like right on the show.
I did. I ordered it right on the show.
Nice.
And to this day, he's like, you didn't force me to get one. You didn't push me into
I
it
did
at
it on
all.
my own will.
You gave me a push, but I was already thinking about it, and then you're like, you should do it. I'm like, you know what? Yes.
You're the final hay that tipped the scale.
I think my exact words is, you should treat yourself.
And you're right. Mhm.
God,
Yeah.
Have,
I'm worth
have
it.
any of you guys played Monster Hunter for the Wii at all?
No,
No, I had it on PSP back in the day. It was lots of
Yeah,
fun.
there's your
that's.
tablet.
I'm still hooked on that. I haven't touched it for a while, but that would be one of the selling points for Wii U
Yeah.
if I got one.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm off the screen. But I was given a 2DS for free. Someone was giving it away, and like it was one of the weirdest conversations because they're like, "Would you like a Nintendo 2DS?" I'm like, what do you want for it? And they're like, nothing. Been looking for people to give it to. I'm like, wait. really? I'm like, so wait, you've had people say, no, I don't want it, even though free. I'm like, shit, I'll take it. It's free. But part of the deal was I have to get Monster Hunter 4 for it, and I still haven't done it yet. I've been a bad friend, but yeah. So I got this 2DS sitting here that I have one game for that I beat like 2 months ago.
Do it and then tell me how Monster Hunter 4 is.
All right, I will.
Yeah, I plan to get a Wii U probably as they start going out to go towards the NX because they'll be dirt cheap, and then that's when the Nintendo games actually start to depreciate.
Mm-hmm. Will the X drop in price with the Elite stuff coming out, or?
No, it's $500 for the Elite, as far as I know. So yeah, but I mean, from what I heard, it's not like the normal hybrid drive. It's sort of like the Western Digital Black drive, so it's like a 128 gig 128 gig SSD with a hard drive. So that's part of the reason why it costs so much, and then the controller 160. But
controller I could live without. That's tempting.
It's a nice controller.
He says. Henchman says no need to play that animal murdering simulator.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just a more hardcore version of Pokemon.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm just gonna sign off here, guys. So, does anybody in the chat have any questions or want to talk about anything? Break up anything in the show? Bring it up now.
Yeah, here's your chance to bring up something.
Forever hold your peace.
Yeah, you guys can find Nick at Coconut Monkey on Twitter, and every once in a while he pops into Jay's 2 cents videos as a sexy beast laid out, sprawled out on a chair.
I thank you. You're too kind.
Yeah. Not gonna say I wasn't creeped out a little bit by it, but
no, creepy was the goal.
Oh, okay.
Well, job well done.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Thanks.
You can find Joe at Lemon Merchant 1.
Yes, Lemon Merchant 1 now, yes.
Okay. And if you have any questions about Final Save Point, anything like that, ask him too, because he's just as much involved in it as I am. And video game battles is pretty much his baby. So
it is.
We'll see. We're trying to get people for the next episode. We're hoping next week.
If everything goes right, should be a big one.
Yeah, guys, go back. Yeah, should be good. But guys, go back, watch episode 8 that had Rooster on or Cooked Up Canary.
That was 7, right?
Was that? No, it was 8, wasn't it?
That was 7.
I thought 7 was the one with Steve.
No, that was 6.
Okay. Go back and watch Video Game Battles. It's pretty funny. And then a very good argument with Steve about which vehicle is the best for in any video game. And then the one that me and Rooster were on, very good argument about a bar fight.
Yes, and all I can say is Slippy and Salt. Very important to that argument. So, go and check that out.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cell Processing, and I also have a account on Twitch, which I've now decided normal streams just going to be on Twitch until YouTube figures its crap out. The little quick plays will be on Final Save Point as short streams, typically about an hour long. But that's going to be the extent of my streaming to YouTube right now.
Yeah. Oh, also starting should be this weekend. Me and Grant will be streaming Saints Row 4. We will be doing co-op. So my Twitch is Lemon Merchant. So check that out. His is Effective Legend. He should be doing it on his side as well. So.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Yeah, no problem. And I wanted to make sure one last thing, because I want to do this for a friend. If you guys go to twitch.tv kbmod on the 20th of this month, Steve is heading up a thing for Extra Life. So they're having a Celebrity Rocket League tournament that is going to be up for, I imagine, quite a few hours. So Steve...
Yeah, it sounds really long.
Yeah, it's Steve, oh my god, and he also has a Twitter, Burial Grounds, I think, now. Tune into those two for information, or just go and follow KB Mods. And guys, you got any money or anything? It's for charity. Great stuff.
Do it.
So
That's good cause.
do it. Get to the chopper now. Anyways, yeah, Jay does it better.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in, and
Yes.
you're out till next month.
Mhm.
Bye, guys.
Latest.